everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name is Jack, and today we are looking at every single LEGO Minecraft minifigure ever made.
Alright, so here are all of the figs, and as you can see, they're not just the minifigs, but we've got creatures and animals as well, and if you're familiar with our collection review episodes, these guys are not resting on our standard minifigure collection stands that we make, but instead this is a custom Minecraft-themed minifigure stand. I hope you'll appreciate the color theme. This was not actually my design, but my brother put this one together, and it requires a ton of these little single stud plates, as well as a lot of 4x8 bright greens, and a few other specific pieces, but you can tell by looking at the back, we filled in the support structure with pretty much anything we could find. Now this collection video is going to follow a slightly different format from our normal chronological year-by-year release. It's still going to be somewhat set up in that order, but I'd like to follow just how the characters evolved over time. So we are going to start off with Steve, but let me just preface one more tiny little thing, and that is this collection does not have any of the micro figs. This is a minifig collection. Alright, now back to Steve. Here he is in his most basic format. He's got his purple pants, a blue shirt with just a little bit of printing by the collar, and a simple smiling face with purple eyes. He was released back in 2014, and he came out in the Cave set 2113, the Farm set 2114, as well as 5 other sets throughout this year and the year following. You see him holding a wooden shovel, but minifigure releases are not defined by the accessories that they hold, but instead the accessories that come on them. So here's just a quick view of all of the different items that this particular Steve came with. It's almost every single weapon that has been made for Minecraft. He came with a wood shovel, sword, pickaxe, and axe, as well as an iron pickaxe and iron sword, and a diamond pickaxe. So anyways, back to Steve. He's a really common fig, and brand new on BrickLink, he goes for $1.50. And here he is again from 2014. The only difference now is that he's got a helmet, and he specifically came out in the sets the Desert Outpost 21121 and the Jungle Treehouse 21125. He is $3 now, and here is Steve number 3. Now he's got iron armor as well as the helmet, and he first came out in the set 2118 The Mine, and then a version of him with this armor also came out later in the Wither set 21126. With the full set of armor, he is now $5, and then 2014 also gave us Steve in his most battle-ready form. That is him in a full set of diamond armor, including that medium azure color that is made to make up the diamond armor on his legs. The diamond armor, as well as those legs molded in that particular blue, make him a little bit more rare, and this minifigure sells for about $9 on BrickLink. And my suspicions about those legs being a little bit more expensive than your standard ones are confirmed when we see our next Steve in 2015. He came out in the Nether Fortress set 21122, and now he just has his regular purple pants again without the diamond armor leggings, and his price is $6 instead of $9. Here is our 6th and final Steve that came out this year in 2016. He was released in the Fortress set number 21127, and as you can see, it's not just an accessory change, but he also has golden legs as well to match with the armor. And currently, he is not being sold by any vendors in the United States on BrickLink. He is a relatively new fig, so I'm going to estimate, based on some of his other prices around the world, that he's probably going to go for $10 in the States. So here we have now all 6 Steves together. A variety of different combinations can of course be made with these guys based on the accessories that they have, but these are the official releases of the characters, and you can guess that we're going to be moving on to Alex now. This minifig was first released back in 2015, and on a personal note, I'm going to say this is the best detailed minifig out of any of the Minecraft figs, and I say that for the sole reason that this is the only Minecraft fig that has any printing on the back. You can see the hair goes around one shoulder, and the detailing for the belt also goes around the back of the waist. Other than that, Alex is pretty simple, just with brown pants, and of course a variety of different weapons and accessories. But this first version of Alex came out in 3 different sets. We have the Desert Outpost 21121, the Iron Golem 21123, and the Village later down the line 21128. Alex goes for $3, and the next version is also a 2015 release with just the diamond helmet. Alex came out in the Nether Fortress 21122. That extra helmet brings the price up to $6. Our final Alex has the only version of any Minecraft fig with the flat silver legs, or the iron armor for the legs, and this minifigure appeared in the Jungle Treehouse set 21125. The price here is $4 for this fig, and now we've got all 3 Alexes together. Not a whole lot of evolution for this character, I must admit, but it is Minecraft, and once again, anything can be and will be switched around as much as you like. All right, let's take a look at some of the bad guys. Here are the skeletons. First skeleton to come out was a 2014 release. I'm going to say the crafting box set 21116 was the very first release, but of course he came out in 5 others. The body remains the same as any of the regular standard skeletons you might have seen in the past, but he now has a boxy Minecraft head to match. He, like all of the other skeletons, has a bow and arrow piece, and this guy goes for about $2 on BrickLink. The next skeleton here was released in 2015, the Desert Outpost set 21121. And the differences, of course, are defined by the 2 pieces of armor that he now comes with. This changes the cost of the fig to now $4, and we have 2 other skeletons released in 2016, but you can hardly tell that they're really different releases. These 2 guys came out in the Fortress set 21127. Now both of those armor pieces have just been split up between 2 different figs, and they each sell for about $3. Alright, and the very last skeleton finally actually changes things up. This is the Wither skeleton from the Wither set 22126. Not only is the skeleton cooler in black and has a better print for the face, but the legs are extended, which is a brand new and exclusive piece still just to this skeleton figure. And this is also the first time we see a different kind of weapon that he's holding, aside from a lot of the standard ones that are repeated most of the time, and he's holding a stone sword. So that does it for all of the skeletons. I can't believe there's technically 5 releases for these guys, even though really I only see 2 different skeletons. Anyways, let's check out the zombies now. This is our standard Minecraft zombie. Super simple, very similar body type to Steve. Of course, the printing on the chest is now green instead of tan, and he comes with green hands and of course a green zombie head. I'm gonna say his original release set was the Cave set 21113, but he can also be found in 4 others. He's extremely common, extremely simple. He goes for $1.50, and the next year we get a zombie pigman. Pretty unique fig actually out of the entire collection. I like the printing that goes all up and down the body, and come to think of it, he's the only minifig that has printing on the legs aside from the new figs that we get from the skin packs. Cool fig. He's especially nice with that golden sword, and his price is $6. Now here's our very last zombie fig. He is a zombie villager fig. He came out in the Village set 21128. His body is exactly the same as a regular zombie minifig, but he now has a special mold and print, of course, to make up the zombie face. Only one of these guys came out in a very large set, the Village set, and this makes him pretty sought after. He's a minimum of $15, but if you wanted to get a vendor to ship him to the States, he'd probably end up costing more. Alright, and I can't forget the Creeper. He was first seen in the First Night set and appeared in 4 other ones. The main piece that makes up his body is custom just for this guy. It looks like he's kind of halfway walking there. He is $3, and this is the only Minecraft head that has been molded in the color green. Alright, and with that, there's only a few bad guys left, so let's jump on over to the Endermen. This first guy came out in 2014 in the Ender Dragon set. You can see he is carrying a block, as they usually do, and the main piece that makes up his body is a specially made Enderman piece. Now, technically, there were 2 other Endermen. They came out in 2016. They're actually the exact same figure, and the only difference is that they come holding different materials. We've got this guy here that came in the End Portal set, and the one carrying just the piece of earth is from the Village set. All 3 of these guys are $4, and let's take a look at a really classic enemy. This is the Spider. Original appearances were in both the Cave set and the Mine set. The exclusive piece that makes up the Spider is, of course, the head. It's got a nice printing for the face, and it's a relatively decent build for the body. Now, because this guy and the rest of the bad guy creatures are not counted as minifigs, there's nobody buying or selling them really on any market, so I'm not going to bother pricing any of these last guys out, and instead now let's take a look at the Cave Spider. It came out in the End Portal 21124, and the body is slightly smaller than a normal spider, and of course it is molded in dark blue, kind of like the look of the Cave Spider, just a little bit more, but they're both relatively on the same level. Now we're taking a look at the Wither. It is from the Wither set 21126, and normally it does have a orange base plate and some jumper pieces that allow it to move around on the lava surface of the Wither set, but so it can fit on the stand, I've removed those pieces for the time being. The smaller heads are the size of the average minifigure or Minecraft minifigure head, and then the Wither has a special print for the extra larger head. Relatively simple build for a pretty simple looking creature. Alright, and I've been kind of jumping around here with the years and the set releases, but let's check out the last 2 bad guys. This first one is a Blaze, and technically he is labeled as a minifigure. I do like that printing for the head and the general build for the body. It's not too often that we get those pistol pieces in yellow, and there's a ton of them on the body here. This guy came out in the Nether Fortress 21122. He sells for around $5, and this last bad guy also came out in the exact same set. The Ghast is the largest of any of the bad guys and maybe the largest of any of the creatures that we get from Minecraft and Lego. Some have argued that the proportions are not particularly great compared to the Ghast from the game, but I think the build works really well, and it has an excellent stud shooting trigger by just pressing that button on the top of the head. The Ghast also has an alternate expression, and I guess that's it for all of the antagonists of Minecraft, and here they are all together. So let's move on to the good guys, that is all the helpers, animals, and alternate skins. And because we ended with the largest of the bad guys, we might as well start off with the largest of the good guys. This is the Iron Golem. He came out in the Iron Golem set 21123 and was also later released in the Village set 22128. Many agree that this is a pretty good version of an Iron Golem in Lego. I really like the prints that go along the legs and the chest and the special mold for the head, and heck, even this guy came with a flower. There's also a Snow Golem that came out in the Snow Hideout set. The jack-o'-lantern piece that makes up the head is not exclusive, though it looks really nice, and the exclusive pieces for this guy really are just those two prints that make up the coal buttons on his chest. Oddly enough, he does count as a minifigure and is sold as such on BrickLink, so he goes for around $5, and I gotta say, I really do appreciate that he does have stud shooters for arms. Knocking out more of the minifigs, we've got two Minecraft villagers. They came from the Village set as well. They only came out in this set, and not only are their heads exclusive, but they each have exclusive torso pieces. Their arms don't move, they're just kind of folded in like that, just in one solid piece. And because the Village set was big and it's relatively new, these guys are being sold. There's actually no US vendors, they're only being sold from Portugal and the Czech Republic, but they're going for around $20 to $25. That is kind of a shame if you're trying to build up a Minecraft village yourself, and something tells me that hopefully these guys are going to be appearing a bit more in later Minecraft sets down the road. Alright, let's take a closer look now at some of my favorite elements of any of the Minecraft sets. We've got the animals. In order of being released, I suppose, 2014 gave us a sheep and a cow from the farm set. Both of their heads are exclusively made pieces, both in terms of the colors that they're molded in and the prints on their faces. The builds for their body are pretty simple, but relatively accurate, and there are no prices for these animal figs, though I do know the head molds individually sell for anywhere between 50 cents to $1. This same year, the first night set gives us our first pig. Same idea applies for this animal with the specially molded color for the head and print for the face. Certainly the simplest print, I'd say, out of any of the animals. And our last bit of livestock for 2014 was the mushroom from the crafting box. Easily my favorite animal in Minecraft, and I do appreciate those mushrooms growing on the back of the cow. They're in fact the exact same build for mushrooms that we get in other sets. 2015 brings us the wolf from the Desert Outpost set. A completely unique mold was made just for this animal, and of course the print to go along with the face. I like those little ears that stick up, and there's not much more to say about this guy. He, like the rest of the animals, are fun, simple little creatures. Now moving on up the years, 2016 brings us the baby pig. He was released in the Iron Golem set and has the exact same headpiece molded for what the adult pig would have. Then the Jungle Treehouse set gives us the ocelot, an animal I appreciate quite a bit just because it's a nice bright yellow, a great detailed little mold for the head, and I like the yellow flower pieces used for the feet. A great little animal, and the very last one released in Minecraft so far is the horse. The body is actually 4 studs long, which makes it too large to fit on any of the lower levels of our custom made stand. It's a fun build though. We've got a good mold for the head, the same simple boxy detailing we've seen printed on just about all the Minecraft figs. And now it's time to check out our most recently released sets, and these are the Minecraft skin packs. I've already done individual reviews on both of these sets that go quite a bit more in depth in terms of description and what these guys are supposed to be in the game, so I'm just gonna slingshot through these 8 characters really quick. The first 4 you're looking at right here came out in what is called Minecraft Skin Pack 1, set number 853609. There is no printing on the backs of any of these guys, and in order from left to right, we have a cyborg guy, definitely a dude in a creeper costume. The red and the blue, I think that is just a casual guy, and the last is definitely a sailor or maybe even a ship captain. So here are the next 4 guys from Skin Pack 2, set number 853610. First is a somewhat of a glowing knight figure. Next there is a crafter with a flower in her hair. We have an adventurer, and the last is definitely an astronaut. So here are all 8 of the figs together, and each of them roughly sell on BrickLink for around $6.50 a pop. And with that, we just completed the entire Minecraft minifigure and creature animal collection. This totals 47 different guys all together. This combination is full of a lot of extreme similarities and almost non-differences when we start looking closer at the Steves and Alexes and skeletons. And there's also a lot of variation and dynamic changes when we look at the skin packs, as well as all the different animals. I especially like the look of this collection with the custom-made stand, and something tells me we are going to be expanding on this very, very soon.
All right, that is it for this episode, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any ideas about another collection you might want to see in the future, you can let us know in the comment section below. I really do like making these videos for you guys. And if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.